Hold on tight, Barcelona fan, because today it's explosive news at Barcelona. Without mincing words, we reveal the biggest scandal in Spanish football. Joan Laporta, our president, has unveiled damning evidence that puts Javier Tebas, the big boss of La Liga, on the ropes. This isn't a rumor, it's the truth shaking the foundations of football. We're talking about a plot to stop FC Barcelona, but the resilient Barcelona always rises again. If you're a true Barcelona fan, tired of the injustices against Barcelona, subscribe now to Barcelona Unfiltered, hit the bell, and join this revolution for Barcelona, for justice, for Blaugrana pride. Prepare to know the truth. Let's go all in, resilient Blaugrana. It's no news that FC Barcelona has been in the eye of the storm for years. It seems there's a dark hand trying to halt our success. Let's speak clearly. The Negreira case, accusations of referee corruption, obstacles to financial fair play, all this is not a coincidence. It's an orchestrated strategy to weaken the greatest club in the world. And at the center of this storm is Javier Tebas, the president of La Liga, who never misses an opportunity to point fingers at Barcelona while seemingly ignoring the dirty dealings of other teams. But do you know what? Joan Laporta isn't staying silent. Our president, with the Barcelona crest tattooed on his chest, has decided to go on the offensive. These aren't empty words or hollow promises. Laporta has presented evidence that could change everything, proof exposing Tebas's maneuvers to harm Barcelona. This isn't a rumor from a Barcelona fan bar, it's real, and today, we're going to tell you all about it. Let's do a quick recap. Over the past few years, Barcelona has had to face sanctions, economic restrictions, and constant scrutiny. Meanwhile, other clubs, which I won't name to avoid distraction, seem to walk without problems, recruiting left and right without anyone holding them accountable. Does that ring a bell? Under Tebas's leadership, La Liga has changed the rules, put up obstacles, and pointed fingers at Barcelona as if we were the only club with problems. But Barcelona isn't alone, fan. We, the supporters, are with the team, and Laporta is leading this battle. Let's get serious, because here's the big piece. According to the revealed information, Joan Laporta has presented an explosive document demonstrating that Javier Tebas has acted improperly to harm FC Barcelona. What are we talking about? This isn't just a piece of paper, fan. We're talking about evidence pointing to irregularities in the management of financial fair play, player registration, and the application of selective sanctions against Barcelona. Laporta has gone all out and shown that La Liga's decisions have not been transparent. For example, do you remember Dani Olmo not being registered this summer? A star signing, a player who made fans dream, and suddenly, La Liga, with Tebas at the helm, says there's no room in the fair play. Coincidence? No, fan, it smells fishy. Laporta has revealed that the financial fair play rules have been manipulated to put Barcelona at a disadvantage while other clubs have received preferential treatment. But wait, there's more. The evidence also includes internal communications suggesting that Tebas acted with insider information, even violating data protection laws. Yes, you heard right. We're talking about a scandal of epic proportions where the president of La Liga played dirty to keep Barcelona on the ropes. Laporta hasn't just presented this evidence but has taken it to court, demanding justice for the club and for all of us, the fans who defend this crest with pride. Fan, take a deep breath, because what we're revealing today isn't just any scandal, it's the scandal of the century. This isn't just another chapter in the history of FC Barcelona, it's an earthquake shaking the foundations of Spanish football that could change everything. Joan Laporta, our president, our Blaugrana leader, has revealed such damning evidence that it puts Javier Tebas, the president of La Liga, on the ropes. We're talking about a plot that has repeatedly tried to stop Barcelona, the greatest club in the world. But Barcelona doesn't fold, fan. Barcelona fights, Barcelona rises again, and today, we explain why this scandal is historic. First, let's clarify one thing. This isn't just an attack on FC Barcelona, it's an attack on all of us, the fans, those who carry the crest engraved in our hearts. 4 years, we've seen how La Liga, under Tebas's command, has put obstacles in Barcelona's way while seemingly looking the other way with other teams. Does that ring a bell? Financial fair play restrictions that stifle us, sanctions that seem designed to weaken us, baseless accusations that tarnish our name. But now, with Laporta's evidence, the whole world is starting to see the truth. There's an agenda against Barcelona, and Tebas is at the center of it. Let's recap so you understand the magnitude of this. During the 2022-2023 season, Barcelona, led by Hansi Flick, managed to win La Liga against all odds, with a young team, injuries, and economic limitations. We showed that talent and Blaugrana grit can overcome anything. But what if I told you that this title could have been even easier without La Liga's obstacles? Laporta's evidence suggests that the restrictions imposed on Barcelona weren't just about rules but a deliberate strategy to prevent the club from dominating as it did in the golden era of Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta. This isn't a game, fan, it's a war. Let's take a concrete example. In the summer of 2024, Barcelona tried to register Dani Olmo, a Spanish talent, a player who made all the fans dream. But La Liga, with Tebas at the helm, said no, that there was no room in the financial fair play. Meanwhile, other clubs, which I won't name because we all know who we're talking about, were recruiting international stars without anyone putting a spoke in their wheels. Is this justice? Is this fairness? No, fan, it's a blatant manipulation, and Laporta has proven it with documents that leave no room for doubt. But the scandal goes beyond signings. Laporta's evidence also points to irregularities in the management of television rights, a subject that directly affects the club's finances. For years, Barcelona has fought to maximize its revenue, but La Liga's decisions have limited our ability to compete on equal terms. For example, clauses have been detected in La Liga's contracts that favor certain clubs in the distribution of television revenue, while Barcelona, one of the clubs that generates the most audience, doesn't receive what it deserves. This isn't a mistake, fan. It's a strategy to keep Barcelona at a disadvantage. And it's not just about money. Let's talk about honor, pride, identity. FC Barcelona is not just a football club. It's a symbol of resistance, struggle, and values. Every time Tebas points a finger at Barcelona with baseless accusations, like in the Negreira case, he attacks millions of Barcelona fans worldwide. Do you remember when they tried to make us believe that Barcelona was buying referees? Investigations showed that those payments were legal, everything was recorded, but the damage was already done. The club's image was tarnished, and Tebas was one of those fanning the flames without concrete evidence. Now, with Laporta's evidence, the world sees who the real culprit is. This scandal also calls into question the credibility of Spanish football as a whole. If the president of La Liga, the highest authority of professional football in Spain, acts improperly, what confidence can fans have? What message are we sending to the world when the greatest club, the one that has given football gems like Johan Cruyff, Lionel Messi, or Lamine Yamal, is treated like a criminal? This doesn't just affect Barcelona, fan, it affects all of us who love this sport. Because if the system is rotten, no one wins. But here's the best part, Barcelona doesn't give up. Laporta has taken this scandal as an opportunity to show that the club is stronger than ever. With this evidence, he's not just defending Barcelona. He's fighting for justice, transparency, and clean football. And we, the fans, must stand by his side. Every shout at Camp Nou, every chant in the stands, every post on social media with the hashtag Justice for Barcelona is proof that we won't be defeated. This scandal is the time to raise our voices, to show the world that FC Barcelona is invincible. And it's not just a matter of pride. This scandal has practical implications. If Laporta succeeds in making these proofs prosper in court, we could see structural changes in La Liga. Maybe fairer new rules, perhaps an in-depth investigation into Tebas' management, maybe even his resignation. Imagine, fan, a Spanish football where Barcelona can compete without chains, where we can recruit without absurd restrictions, where we can become the kings of Europe again. This is the future Laporta is fighting for, and it's the future we, as fans, must support. So, fan, it's time to unite. It doesn't matter if you're in Barcelona, Mexico, Argentina, Japan, or any corner of the world. If you bleed Blaugrana, if the Barcelona anthem gives you goosebumps, this is your moment. Laporta has taken the first step, but now it's our turn. Let's fill social media with support, demand justice, and show that Barcelona is more than a club, it's a way of life. Because this scandal, fan, is not just the scandal of the century. It's the beginning of a new era for FC Barcelona. Visca el Barça. The bombshell that Joan Laporta dropped with this damning evidence against Javier Tebas has triggered a tsunami in the world of football. This isn't just a rumor that fades away in a few days. No, it's a scandal that resonates in every corner of the football planet. From the stands of Camp Nou to discussion forums on social media, Barcelona fans are on fire. The media is on edge, and even those who aren't Barcelona fans are starting to raise their eyebrows. Today, in Barcelona Unfiltered, we're going to break down the reactions this news has provoked. And, most importantly, what does this mean for the future of FC Barcelona and Spanish football? Get ready, because this is a Blaugrana revolution. Let's start with the fans, because we, the Barcelona supporters, are the heart of Barcelona. Since the first information about Laporta's evidence leaked, social media has exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, there isn't a platform where you don't see hashtags like hashtag Tebas resign, hashtag Justice for Barcelona, and hashtag Laporta leader among the most used. Thousands of Barcelona fans from all over the world are sharing their indignation, pride, and unconditional support for the club. In Barcelona, the fan clubs are organizing gatherings to demand transparency, and abroad, the fans are making noise in every language. From Mexico to Japan, this isn't just a Barcelona scandal. It's a movement, a rebellion of the Blaugrana tide that won't stop until justice is served. But it's not just the fans who are talking. The media close to Barcelona, those who have always fiercely defended the colors, have taken the lead in analyzing every detail of Laporta's evidence. Radio programs, podcasts, YouTube channels, all are dissecting the case, explaining how Tebas's irregularities have harmed the club for years. For example, much has been said about the impact of financial fair play during the 2024-2025 season, when Barcelona had to fight until the last minute to register key players like Dani Olmo. The Barcelona-friendly media have highlighted how these obstacles not only affected the team on the field, but also generated uncertainty among the fans, making us feel that our club was being unfairly punished. And then there's the other side of the coin. The media that aren't so friendly with Barcelona, those who are always ready to throw the first stone. Some have tried to downplay the scandal, saying that Laporta's evidence is exaggerated or that Barcelona is looking for excuses for its problems. Excuses, please, fan? FC Barcelona doesn't need excuses to demonstrate its greatness. What Laporta is doing is putting the truth on the table, exposing a system that has played dirty against us. And while some media try to divert attention, the reality is that the evidence is so solid that even the most skeptical are starting to question Tebas's management. Now, let's talk about the reactions in the football world. So far, Javier Tebas has opted for silence, which is not typical of him. Normally, he doesn't miss an opportunity to appear in the media, to throw darts at Barcelona, or to defend himself tooth and nail. But this time, he seems to have no words. La Liga issued a lukewarm statement saying they will analyze the accusations and that they always act within the law. But fan, that doesn't convince anyone. When you have evidence as damning as that presented by Laporta, a generic statement isn't enough. It's like trying to put out a fire with a glass of water, and the fans know it. On social media, Barcelona supporters are demanding clear answers, not hollow excuses. Other clubs are also starting to react, albeit cautiously. Some smaller teams that have supported Tebas in the past are keeping a low profile, likely because they know this scandal could splash back on them. But there are also rumors that some clubs that have felt the restrictions of La Liga firsthand are beginning to wonder if the system is as fair as it's made out to be. This could be the beginning of a crack in Tebas's reign. Fan, if other teams join Barcelona's fight, we could be on the brink of a historic change in Spanish football. And we can't forget the figures of Barcelona. Although not all have spoken publicly, some former players and legends of the club have shown their support for Laporta in private. Names like Xavi Hernandez, who knows firsthand the difficulties of competing under La Liga's restrictions, are said to support this crusade. Even in the current locker room, players like PEDRI, GAVI, and YAMAL have hinted in interviews that they fully trust Laporta's management. Because they, like us, know that this isn't just a matter of offices, it's a matter of pride, of defending the crest we wear on our chests. Now, let's look to the future. This scandal has the potential to change everything. If Laporta's evidence prospers in court, we could see immediate consequences. First, an in-depth investigation into Tebas's management, which could end in sanctions or even his resignation. Imagine, fan, a Spanish football without Tebas at the helm, with fair rules and equality for all clubs. Second, Barcelona could regain ground economically, with fewer restrictions to recruit and compete in Europe. This wouldn't just benefit the club, but all fans who dream of seeing Barcelona back at the top of the Champions League. But the future doesn't just depend on Laporta or the courts. It depends on us, the fans. This is the time to show our strength, to fill the stands of Camp Nou, to raise our voices on social media, to demonstrate that Barcelona is more than a club. It's a passion that no one can extinguish. Laporta has taken the first step, but now it's up to us to support him. And let's not fool ourselves, fan, the fight won't be easy. Tebas has powerful allies, and La Liga is a well-oiled machine. However, Barcelona has something no one else does: the strength of its fans, the passion of millions of supporters who don't give up. This case could also set a precedent for other clubs. If Barcelona manages to prove that La Liga has acted improperly, other teams might feel encouraged to speak up. We are at a historic moment, fan, a moment when Spanish football could clean itself up once and for all. Fan, Joan Laporta is not just a president. He's a symbol of resistance, a leader who has shown he fears no one, not even the greatest powers in football. With this evidence, Laporta is writing a new chapter in the history of FC Barcelona, a chapter of struggle, pride, and defense of the crest. Let's think about what it means to be a Barcelona fan. It means never giving up, fighting against adversity, carrying Barcelona in our hearts even if the whole world is against us. Laporta understands this, and that's why he's leading this battle. He's not doing it just for himself. He's doing it for us, for the millions of fans who dream of seeing Barcelona at the top. This scandal is further proof that Barcelona is different. We are not just a club, we are a family, a community that transcends borders. And as long as we have leaders like Laporta, as long as we have fans like ours, no one can stop us. This is the time to unite, fan, to show the world that FC Barcelona is invincible, both on and off the field. Fan, we've reached the end of this video, but the fight is just beginning. Joan Laporta has taken a step forward. He has shown the evidence that demonstrates Javier Tebas and La Liga have played dirty against FC Barcelona. This isn't just an attack on the club, it's an attack on all of us who wear Blaugrana in our hearts. But Barcelona always rises, Barcelona always fights, Barcelona always wins, because we are more than a club. We are a family, a passion, a pride that no one can take away from us. If you are a die-hard Barcelona fan, if you believe in truth and justice for FC Barcelona, subscribe to Barcelona Unfiltered, hit the bell, and join this Blaugrana revolution. Leave me your comments. What do you think of Laporta's evidence? Do you think Tebas should resign? What do you expect from Barcelona's future in this battle? Tell me everything, fan. See you in the next video, because here at Barcelona Unfiltered, we defend Barcelona to the end. Visca el Barça and Visca Catalunya. To understand the magnitude of this scandal, we need to go back in time and analyze how this war between Javier Tebas and FC Barcelona began. This isn't something that happened overnight. The relationship between Tebas and Barcelona has been tense for years, and it's no secret that the president of La Liga has never hidden his animosity towards our club. Since he took the reins of La Liga in 2013, Tebas has implemented policies that, far from benefiting Spanish football as a whole, seem designed to control and limit Barcelona's growth. Let's take a step back. Over the past 10 years, Barcelona has had to face a series of obstacles that don't seem to affect other teams in the same way. For example, when the club tried to strengthen itself with key players to compete in Europe, like in the summer of 2022, La Liga imposed draconian restrictions under the pretext of financial fair play. Meanwhile, other clubs, particularly one from the capital that we all know, seem to have a free pass to spend astronomical sums without anyone holding them accountable. Coincidence? I don't think so, fan. Tebas has always presented himself as the defender of justice and transparency in football, but his actions tell a different story. In 2019, when the Negreira case began to take shape, Tebas was one of the first to point the finger at Barcelona, accusing us of corruption without concrete evidence. And what happened next? Investigations showed that the payments to Negreira were legal and recorded, but that didn't stop Tebas from using this case to damage the club's image. This pattern repeats itself over and over. Barcelona is the easy target, the scapegoat, while other clubs operate in the shadows without being questioned. Laporta, however, is not the type to sit idly by. Since his return to the presidency in 2021, he has made it clear that he will not allow Tebas or anyone else to trample on the Barcelona crest. He has faced each attack with determination, and this damning evidence he has presented now is the culmination of years of resistance. We are at a key moment, fan, a turning point where Barcelona says, enough is enough. Now, fan, we will examine in detail the evidence that Joan Laporta has put on the table. This is not just a simple document or a vague accusation. We are talking about a comprehensive dossier that includes documentary evidence, internal communications, and detailed analyses exposing the irregularities of Javier Tebas and La Liga. According to the revealed information, this evidence covers three main areas: the arbitrary management of financial fair play, the manipulation of data to harm Barcelona, and the violation of legal regulations in the treatment of the club. First, let's talk about financial fair play. We all know that Barcelona has had problems registering players in recent years. Cases like those of Dani Olmo, Ilkay Gundogan, or even Robert Lewandowski in 2022 are clear examples. La Liga, under Tebas' leadership, has imposed strict limits on Barcelona, requiring asset sales and economic levers to comply with the standards. But what if I told you that these standards do not apply equally to everyone? Laporta's evidence shows that La Liga has been much more lenient with other clubs, allowing them to maneuver with their finances in ways that have always been denied to Barcelona. For example, there are documents suggesting that certain teams received more flexible deadlines to comply with the requirements, something that has never been offered to Barcelona. Secondly, the manipulation of data. This is where things get even murkier. The evidence presented by Laporta includes emails and internal communications from La Liga that demonstrate that Barcelona's confidential data was shared with third parties, which would violate data protection laws. This is not just an administrative error, fan. It is a deliberate practice to put Barcelona at a disadvantage. Can you imagine that your club's financial information, the club you love, is used against you? And thirdly, selective sanctions. Laporta has demonstrated that La Liga's decisions have been inconsistent. While Barcelona has been punished with restrictions and fines, other clubs with similar financial problems have received much more lenient treatment. This is not a conspiracy theory, fan. These are facts supported by documents that Laporta has brought before the courts, demanding an in-depth investigation. Fan, this scandal affects not only FC Barcelona as an institution but all of us, the millions of supporters who carry this club in our souls. Every time La Liga imposes an unfair restriction, every time Tebas points the finger at Barcelona without evidence, it is a direct blow to our passion, to our identity. Because being a Barcelona fan is not just about supporting a team, it is about defending a philosophy, values, a way of understanding football. And when someone like Tebas tries to tarnish that, it hurts us all. Think about the consequences. During the 2024-2025 season, Barcelona is fighting to return to the top in Europe with Hansi Flick at the helm. The team has shown a spectacular level with players like LAMINE, YAMAL, PEDRI, and GAVI leading the new generation. But what happens when you can't register your stars? What happens when your signings are limited while other clubs strengthen their squads without problems? This not only affects performance on the field, but also the morale of the fans. Each restriction from La Liga has been like a stab in the back for the Barcelona supporters. We have felt as if our club was alone against the world. But Laporta is changing this narrative. With this evidence, he shows that Barcelona is not the problem but the victim of a corrupt system. And this, fan, gives us hope, gives us the strength to continue supporting, singing the anthem, filling Camp Nou with pride. This scandal will not go unnoticed, fan. Joan Laporta has taken the matter to court, and this is not an empty threat. The president of Barcelona has hired a top team of lawyers to present the evidence before the competent authorities. We are talking about a complaint that could have devastating consequences for Javier Tebas and La Liga. If the evidence is as solid as they say, Tebas could face serious sanctions, even the possibility of having to step down. Laporta's strategy is clear. He is not only seeking to clear Barcelona's name but also to expose the irregularities of the system. The documents presented include evidence of violations of regulations, abuse of power, and lack of transparency in La Liga's management. This is not just a dispute between two parties, it is a battle for justice in Spanish football. And this is not the first time Laporta has faced giants. Let's remember that during his first term as president, he led Barcelona to the top of the world with Pep Guardiola's team. Now, in his second term, he is leading a different but equally important war. He is not just defending the club but all of us, the Barcelona fans who believe in the greatness of FC Barcelona. Since Laporta dropped this bombshell, Javier Tebas' silence has been deafening. Normally, the president of La Liga does not miss an opportunity to appear in the media, make inflammatory statements, or point the finger at Barcelona. But this time, he seems to have nothing to say. And it's not without reason, fan. When you're caught red-handed, it's hard to find excuses. La Liga issued a generic statement saying they will study the accusations and that they always act within the law. But you know what? That doesn't convince anyone. We, the Barcelona fans, have had enough of empty statements and promises of transparency that never materialize. Laporta's evidence is clear, and La Liga can no longer hide behind pretty words. Fan, in times like this, unity is strength. FC Barcelona fans are more alive than ever, and social media is buzzing with support for Laporta and the club. From the fan clubs at Camp Nou to the Barcelona supporters on the other side of the world, we are all raising our voices. Because this is not just a scandal, it's a direct attack on our identity, and we will not allow it. Media outlets close to Barcelona, which have followed this case from the beginning, have played a key role in revealing the truth. Programs and YouTube channels that have reported on this scandal defend the Blaugrana colors without fear. This is truthful journalism, fan, journalism that defends the colors without fear. This scandal doesn't just affect Barcelona, fan. It has the potential to change Spanish football forever. If Laporta's evidence prospers in court, we could be on the brink of a new era in La Liga. Javier Tebas' management has been questioned for years, not just by Barcelona supporters, but also by many other fans and clubs who believe the rules are not fair. Imagine a Spanish football where the rules are applied fairly, without favoritism or hidden agendas. This is the future Laporta is fighting for. But it won't be easy. Tebas has powerful allies, and La Liga is a well-oiled machine. However, Barcelona has something no one else does: the strength of its fans, the passion of millions of supporters who don't give up. This case could also set a precedent for other clubs. If Barcelona manages to prove that La Liga has acted improperly, other teams might feel encouraged to speak up. We are at a historic moment, fan, a moment when Spanish football could clean itself up once and for all. Fan, Joan Laporta is not just a president. He's a symbol of resistance, a leader who has shown he fears no one, not even the greatest powers in football. With this evidence, Laporta is writing a new chapter in the history of FC Barcelona, a chapter of struggle, pride, and defense of the crest. Let's think about what it means to be a Barcelona fan. It means never giving up, fighting against adversity, carrying Barcelona in our hearts even if the whole world is against us. Laporta understands this, and that's why he's leading this battle. He's not doing it just for himself. He's doing it for us, for the millions of fans who dream of seeing Barcelona at the top. This scandal is further proof that Barcelona is different. We are not just a club, we are a family, a community that transcends borders. And as long as we have leaders like Laporta, as long as we have fans like ours, no one can stop us. This is the time to unite, fan, to show the world that FC Barcelona is invincible, both on and off the field. Fan, we've reached the end of this video, but the fight is just beginning. Joan Laporta has taken a step forward. He has shown the evidence that demonstrates Javier Tebas and La Liga have played dirty against FC Barcelona. This isn't just an attack on the club, it's an attack on all of us who wear Blaugrana in our hearts. But Barcelona always rises, Barcelona always fights, Barcelona always wins, because we are more than a club. We are a family, a passion, a pride that no one can take away from us. If you are a die-hard Barcelona fan, if you believe in truth and justice for FC Barcelona, subscribe to Barcelona Unfiltered, hit the bell, and join this Blaugrana revolution. Leave me your comments. What do you think of Laporta's evidence? Do you think Tebas should resign? What do you expect from Barcelona's future in this battle? Tell me everything, fan. See you in the next video, because here at Barcelona Unfiltered, we defend Barcelona to the end. Visca el Barça and Visca Catalunya.